Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If you are watching this video, Banner Night has slightly passed. This is Thursday morning, but another banner has graced us today. Hailing from an entry from MSV-R, we have the final suit to complete the Vertex trilogy in the form of the Gelgoog Xanthos, a 600 cost, 3-star support, usable in ground and space. But before we catch up on the actual details, let's go over some news. In addition to the banner suit that we're getting a limited drop for the 650 version of the Valorant Assault, which is at level 2, including its main weapon and melee weapon. Now, if you had a great time with the suit, feel like it's worth its potential, then it's definitely worth pulling for it. Unfortunately, due to its promotion as a limited time thing, there are no discounts for it currently. Also, on top of that, we are getting some additions to the recycle counter. The level 1 and level 2 Rick DJ are being added, as well as the level 3 version of the Zeta Gundam. Coming to the DP exchange, we are getting the close combat level 1 and level 2 versions of the GM3, and the level 3 version of the Gun Tank 2 is also being added. Alright, jumping into tonight's banner, we have the Gelgoog Vertex Xanthos. That's a tongue twister right there. And as I stated earlier, it is a 3-star, level 1, 600 cost support that is usable on ground and space. It is a suit that's designed and developed by Anaheim Electronics for Chimera Corps member Yigba's Note. And the suit is actually designed taking inspiration from the original Vertex unit Testarossa, which is Johnny Raiden's suit, and also takes inspiration from his original Gelgoog cannon that Yigba originally operated earlier from the manga. The suit still maintains, since it's part of the Vertex family, it still maintains a high mobility, but it does use beam and shell-based ammunition. As included with the lineage that it follows, it also maintains and features for a support, which is pretty surprising, the quick turn skill. So we'll see how it plays out in the days ahead. But as part of that banner, you do have the Federation D01 bodysuit and the helmet. So if you are doing 10 pulls, you have a chance to get one of each. Great if you don't have it for cosmetics, but each their own. Now, of course, this particular banner also has a step up program. So first step has a 50% discount, so if you saved up 15 tokens, you do have that chance to get it. Of course, the second step does go into 2-star rarity and higher material drops at 1.5, and then step 3, step 4 are 3-star rarities or higher with a 1 mole suit guaranteed. The only exception being the last one, being all drops are bolted. So definitely count on some duplicates in between there. It's up to you if you want to go for this. I'd go for the discount if I have saved up token personally. But on to the actual paperwork behind the mole suit. Now getting into the statistics and nitty-gritty concerning the Xanthos, as I'll currently refer to it to avoid any type of confusion. The suit has a lot of different really neat aspects as far as numbers go. Beam and Ballistic have a 28, 20k HP, and we're looking at 10 resistance, which is not very surprising considering it's a support unit. Now, range and melee strength, we're having a leaning towards range because it's a support. They'll look pretty normal. But what really stands out for me, based on what I ran into, is the fact that the movement, its boost, and turning speeds are pretty substantial, which makes it, I would say, pretty viable. But, you know, we're basing it on statistics. the first suit that comes to mind that might be a good mirror to this might be the Super, which I know a lot of folks do use at 600. We do have the Gira Zulu Angelo as a usable suit at that cost range as well. But considering the shopping list of weapons and skills that we'll get into in a second, this definitely looks very promising. Now, going into its main weapon here, we have the Hyper Mega Launcher with 2800 plus 2850 if you want to be specific, as its base power at a heat rate of 95. Now, granted, you can charge this, but it's going to take you 10 seconds, which might be great if you are in a favorable position for that continuous burst, which this does. It does focus fire, very similar to a BST almost. But your normal neutral firing is enough to suppress and basically stun somebody for a hot second, which is usable at 500. Now, like I said, if you do focus it, you do have to wait that lovely 30-second cooldown time. You could run overheats, but not really something I don't think people would want to do it. But, you know, hey, it's a custom game. You can do whatever you want with custom part slots, I mean. So, there is that. Now, going into its melees, 2600, pretty decent for a support. So, I'm pretty sure people are going to get really crafty. It does kind of remind me of a certain Gelgoog cannon video that I recently saw. Jumping into its sub-weapons, we have the Backpack Missile Pod. 400 power, 8 shots at 500 meters, so it definitely seems to suggest that the main MBL probably should be fired normally without charge, or it's more based on circumstance, and you're going to be relying on other weapons to kind of fill in the DPS gap. This being one of those weapons. 15-second reload doesn't seem too bad as long as you have things kind of staggering about in between everything. We also have another beam rifle that this suit uses. I think this is coming from its JN Gelgoog cannon days, which allows for it to be charged on the move. 3-second charge, 1500 base power at 550, so a lot of overlapping there. We also have a Gelgoog cannon VG weapon attached to it, so this is going to be functioning very similar to that with the grenade launcher attachment. So that's I wouldn't necessarily call it a game changer, but as a supplement to two weapons that, you know, probably is associated with this character, this is going to be a pretty fun, if not legitimately decent suit. We also have the signature scope that the Gelgoog cannon features, so we are going to be spotting some things along with it. Now on to the skills. Alright, going into the shopping list of the Xanthos for its skills, one thing that definitely stands out is the fact that this has balancers. So I wouldn't necessarily say that this is going to be a suit that gets in there, but if a general or raid decides to play carelessly, the suit will be able to punish at those close distances. You do, as I said earlier, have the quick turn feature skill, just like the general and raid versions of its, we'll say, sister units. You have Force Injector level 2, as well as Damage Control level 2, which is again, not a major game changer, but adding to the fact that it is a bigger target. It might need it, so we'll see how that plays out in the future as days go on from the banner. You do have backbinder cushioning and leg buffers for level 2, so it is gonna be really interesting to see how that plays out. Precision sniping also can help, especially if you have that time to be able to go into scope mode and get that extra 30% off. one thing to add before I forget is that I can't remember if the regular JN Gelgoog has this feature, but the Scouting Parallel Processing Device, the ability to have radar up while you're in scope, this can probably certainly help it, especially with a lot of fast-moving suits in 600. So, again, not a major game changer, but I do feel like it does complete the whole package. But only time will tell if this whole package is going to be something that will be pretty good in the long run. And that'll do it for tonight's banner overview. If you like what you heard about the new suit, think it's worthwhile, etc., please don't hesitate to hit those like and subscribe buttons. It definitely keeps the lights on for us here. And if you have any comments, feel free to share them in below. I do read that all the time. So without further ado, I'll see you guys on the next video.